Hello everyone, this is Sergio, and I was asked to show my build for my gunner after I posted an impossible run on Ignis Monastery. Anyways, this is a strength valor build. I'll start with chapels, show you what's going on. I recently got the double chapels. This was after I posted the impossible run, so anyway. My first chapel, I have critical chance and accuracy. They're all purple, as you can see. Next chapel, I have crushing blow. Next one is accuracy. Crushing blow again. Accuracy again. One temper temple, that's all you'll need to max out temper easily. Critical chance 4.2%. Solidity 4.5% and solidity 4.5%. So those are all the temples I'm using. Some people have been saying solidity is bugged or the text is wrong. I don't know about that, but I've just been using them. Alright, so those are the temples. Let's go to equipment real fast. Alright, so here's equipment. Now I've gotten my distortion weapon, 10 cannon. My efficiency is 8.0, so that helps. It also has plasma stream, inflicts 42% more damage. Usually I am using the one that uses that gives a mind ring bonus damage, but I haven't gotten that yet from distortions. I also have this cartridge, which gives solidity 3%. Rapid fire inflicts 75% more damage. This is very useful for when you're coming across a group of trash mobs. Right clicking will usually dispatch them in 1 or 2 hits, sometimes 3. Trophies are opinion, it just depends on what enemy you're fighting. Amulets. I usually look for full auto amulets as my primary stat, since that's your left mouse button and it helps the most with bosses and keeping your DPS up. Then the secondary stats, it can either be pulse shot or plasma field damage over time. Rapid fire is okay, but you don't really need much of it. If I can't find a full auto, rapid fire is my next choice. That's your right mouse button. Rings. These 3 rings are strength valor. I've gotten them from OIA raids. I think these are from 3-star equivalent. These 2 have accuracy and temper. You can see they're pretty good. Accuracy right there, temper. Accuracy, temper. Temper maxed out 50%, so these 2 right here is already 21% plus the temples, which is 32%. This strength valor. This one has temper and health bonus. I wish I had accuracy, but you can always find what you want. This one is valor luck. I haven't found anything really to replace it yet, but also has a temper bonus. So I've maxed out my temper, and I have a good amount of critical chance, and I still have some critical damage as well. So with the gunner's left mouse click, you can apply all the damage over time constantly, the compressive trauma, the lacerated wound, so forth. I have my ritual ornament up to rank 16. My weapon and offhand weapons are only 9. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. My temples themselves, they're only rank 15. So I do not have inflated health. I'm not very good at tanking. I mean, the gunner's pretty tanky itself. I have about 40% HP shielding, 20% from passive, and when you pop your shield, you get another 20%. I'll show you my my abilities. First abilities, I'll have the plasma stream. You can see right there, it does decent damage. That's not showing the 42% damage bonus. Then I do Fire Sector. Fire Sector does more damage than Fire Blast does. It covers a larger area. Well, not range-wise, but wide Its wideness is a lot larger. Does more damage and also fears enemies for 3 seconds, but the fear effect refreshes as long as you're firing it. Then I use Plasma Field. This does good damage over time, and if your pulse shot hits it, it causes a chain reaction that inflicts extra damage to all enemies in the field, but it reduces the field duration by 1 second. Not always though, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to in a sec. Mind Ring deals decent damage, and it can deal up to double damage depending on your main hand weapon, up to 100% bonus damage, and increases the base damage of your missile salvo. It doubles it during for the duration. But that's only if you have that offhand weapon that would take away the 42% plasma bonus. Then you have Vulnerability Scanner. This increases your damage by 30%, and all attacks inflict their maximum base damage. This is a very good thing, and it lasts 25 seconds. However, that's not always the case due to talents. These are the talents I'm currently using. I used to use this, but it doesn't give that much more bonus damage, so now I have this. Auto Aim. Full auto can be used from a distance of up to 40 yards. The damage from the ability is increased by 75% for the first 10 seconds of the fight, and when used against slowed down, immobilized, or stunned enemies. This is really good for if you're in a team. Not as good against bosses since they aren't affected by CC most of the time, but still against other enemies it's really nice to have, especially when you have something that applies to an attack like a slow from your Atlas or a stun. I have Armor Plates Regeneration. If the gunner does not take damage for 6 seconds, they gain 1 armor plate that absorbs damage equal to 5% of the gunner's maximum health. The gunner can gain up to 3 armor plates when out of combat, but only 1 plate in combat. So that gives you a little extra buffer of HP and shielding. Experimental Fuel. The burning effect applied by Fire Blast and Fire Sector lasts 3 times longer. Rapid Fire inflicts 100% more damage to burning enemies. So you have this along with that 75% bonus from Rapid Fire. If you need to use it, you use it on trash mobs. Sometimes you use it on the diamond mobs. I mean, not the diamond, but the elite mobs. And you can still burn them down with Rapid Fire while they're running around screaming in fear. Momentum Conservation. Pulse Shot inflicts more damage if it has not been used for 10 seconds. The effect stacks up to 4 times, and bonus to damage is increased from 50% to 400%. This is really good. While you're using rockets or whatever, this will build up. And it also applies to the plasma field. So anything in the plasma field, if you zap it with this, it'll do that 400% bonus damage plus the extra damage from the plasma field. And it'll basically vaporize anything in there in one shot when it's built up. Expanded Ammunition. Maximum number of projectiles is increased by 5. When resurrected, the gunner's projectiles are fully restored. Self-explanatory. More missiles, the better it is for you. This is the thing I was talking about. Eddy Currents. Plasma Field inflicts 25% more damage over time. Pulse Shot has a 50% chance to not reduce the duration of the field. This is really good. I mean, you're shooting a plasma field to do lots of AoE damage plus extra damage that a normal pulse shot wouldn't do. And there's a 50% chance that you're not going to reduce the duration of the field, so it continues to also deal damage over time. Fractal Shrapnel. Projectiles launched by homing guidance systems split at the end of the flight, inflicting 1,514 to 3,575 damage to all enemies in a 4-yard radius of the primary target. Damage to the primary target is increased by 50%. People don't realize that fractal shrapnel actually does more to mobs than non-fractal shrapnel. It doesn't look like it does due to the damage numbers, but it does. And this is your real ultimate on orbital bombardment. It says vulnerability scanner lasts 5 seconds longer. After the first use of the ability, each additional use reduces its cooldown by 45 seconds until the end of the fight. The effect stacks up to 3 times. This is very useful on raid bosses and distortion bosses, because once it gets that stacked up cooldown, you can basically use it with only 10-second to 15-second delays between each use, and you'll be pumping out 30% extra damage with maximum base damage. So those are what I'm using currently. Now this is all going to be subject to change once the Russian patch hits, because you're going to be losing vulnerability scanner, and flamethrower is going to be changing its damage ratios, and plasma streams and plasma beams are also getting their own damage bonuses, and the mine ring damage bonus is being changed to a stacking debuff for missiles and whatnot, but we'll get to that when that happens. Now I'm going to show symbols. Maximum recoil, ultimate strength, mobilization. They're all not maxed yet. I mean, it's still working on them towards the Atlas. But you can apply all of these constantly, and I'm sure I could also apply impulse intensity whenever it popped due to left mouse button also applying impulse damage. I got Warrior's Creed. Damage still is increased by 5% for the symbol. Incoming damage is increased by 5%. I have Clever Maneuver. It creates a barrier when you dodge. It actually makes dodge useful. I use this sometimes. Depends on the situation. It makes you take less damage when you dodge. Element of Surprise. For the first 8 seconds of the fight, damage inflicted is increased by 12% for every level of this symbol. Again, very useful. Especially with that first 8 seconds. Full auto doing that extra damage, or as you need it, missile barrages. Lacerated Wound, Compressive Trauma, Deep Dissection. All of these are procced continually by the gunner's left mouse button, since it's not considered a damage over time and different attacks separately made as it continues to blast away. I'm sure even Painful Spasms, yeah, once again, every time impulse damage procs, it would proc that as well. I have Might of Other Worlds. This is only if you really want to grind out invasions to get that might efficiency, but the third event's coming up, and the third event has a talent that has 24% might efficiency and 16% bonus to health. So you add that with this might efficiency and the might efficiency you get from distortion weapons. If you have just 2 of these, and altogether you'll have 41% might efficiency, which is going to make might a whole lot more useful. Paladin symbol. Most people have this. If you're going to get hit, it'll absorb all the damage. No need to really explain it. Shroud of Light. This is like another... It's wrong, the description. Well, maybe they changed it. Let's see. Yeah, it says maximum 3 plates maximum. There's no 3. There's only 1. So it's 5%. It's a shield that absorbs 5% of health. So it's like the gunner's plates. They probably mixed up the description or something. But it adds another 5% to your armor plates as a gunner. So that's 20% right there. Berserker. This is when you get hit, you might get a damage bonus that increases your damage by 20% for 8 seconds to lower your health. The higher chance it is of activating. Archer. I recently got this one. It was before I did that impossible run. But damage inflicted enemies with more than 50% health is increased by 12%. Once again, really good for initial barrages and attacks. And I have also this currently, Strength Serum. When using offensive abilities, the character occasionally receives an injection which increases damage by 15%. So you got a whole lot of damage and whatnot. And that's my build. I'll probably post a couple more runs to show damage how it is now that I'm almost 89k here. And and maybe even record a raid run so that you can see how my damage is compared to other people in a raid. Most people have been pretty impressed in my Pantheon, since I'm usually in the top 3 of damage, either first, second, or third. But and that's without buffs. So thank you all for watching, and I'll post a few more videos for you to get an idea of how this build is.